Yo RX back with another breakdown of UFC Charlotte. I'm not gonna call it 8 on ABC 4 or whatever fuck. It's UFC Charlotte. Yeah, pretty good card. Before I try and duck around the elephant in the room, I'll be honest. I know this is another recap coming out late, but if I'm being honest with you, I was not feeling it yesterday. I felt fine physically. I was just not feeling it, if you know what I mean, upstairs. So I just said, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow, today, and upload it Monday morning. Trust me, I want to fucking do these on Saturday night, upload them for Sunday 1 p.m. EST, but I just could not yesterday. If I did try, it would have been terrible. So I think it's better that I waited a day, and Monday morning's fine. So, yeah, so, not much more I can say. Like I said, I think the card overall was pretty good. Maybe 3 or 4 duds, but we'll talk about those when we get to those. But yeah, not much more to say. We did lose a fight before the card on weigh-in day, Natan Levy and Pete Rodriguez, but who gives a fuck, that fight would have sucked anyway. And yeah, let's talk about UFC Charlotte. 10 fights. I'm not going to talk about the first fight on the card that really happened because I don't want to, so fuck you. To talk about the first fight on the card that did not depress me, and actually the highlight of the card, I think, was the highest point of the card, one of the most hype moments of the card, everything. We begin with Bryan Battle versus Gabe Green. Holy fuck. Bryan Battle said, "You ain't coming into my town and fucking knocking me out. You are going to sleep." And Gabe Green took a nap. Wow. To sum up the whole fight, Gabe Green rushed forward with no respect for Bryan, and Bryan threw a beautiful right on the chin and knocked Gabe out cold. What a fucking moment for Bryan Battle in Charlotte. The crowd went crazy. You would think it was a fucking pay-per-view and the championship was just won. No. He does. I'm so happy for Bryan Battle, man. Dude, could not happen to a nicer guy. It has the same vibes as Matt Frivola last week in New York. Just could not happen to a nicer guy. Bryan Battle seems like a really nice dude. Hell, if you were wondering why he shaved his hair, from what I remember seeing, it was for a friend of his who got the, yeah, you know, I think you can take a guess. So, just that alone. And hell, maybe it helped him. Blonde Battle is a fucking beast. So is Hair Battle. And I think this shows something. A lot of people were talking bad about Bryan with the Renat fight. Renat's just fucking insanely good. Plus, Bryan took that on way shorter notice than this, if I'm correct. So I think that's another thing you gotta factor in. Gabe Green is not Renat Faraknikov. Renat's way better than Gabe Green. Renat could be a ranked dude someday, and I won't be shocked if he is. Gabe Green is never going to be ranked, never going to touch the rankings. So, I feel like people were like, yes, he did get completely dominated, but again, Renat's a fucking monster. And anyone who disagrees is a fucking idiot. So, and Renat's the best guy Bryan has fought. Yes, Bryan's not fought great guys. Gabe Green, Takashi Sato, Trayshawn Gore, Gilbert Urbina, not great fighters. But for Renat, it's just another level than all those guys fucking combined. So I can't put that as a knock on him. So Bryan Battle's really fucking good, and for 28 years old, only his 10th fight, dude, he's a great prospect. And somehow I'll say, when he moved down to welterweight for the Sato fight, I believe, I was scared. I was like, how is this dude gonna make 170? He looks great. I think it was a right move because he might be a little. Think about it now. If like if you were to, let's say, matchmake him with some even unranked guys like a Mahmoud Muradov or a Kyle Borrelio, he's gonna be undersized. At welterweight, it's his weight class, so 10 out of 10 IQ there by Bryan Battle. Talk about Gabe Green. What can you really say? It's Gabe Green. He's never gonna win anything. He's never gonna fucking be a ranked fighter, and he's never gonna beat good guys like Ian Garry, Bryan Battle. He's just there. He'll win some, he'll lose some. He'll beat a Johan Lanus and a young Phil Rowe, but he's never beating an Ian Garry and a Bryan Battle. And by the way, the Rowe fight's a fluke. And a rematch, Rowe does whatever he wants. Yeah, not much to say. Gabe came in with a stupid fucking game plan, and if his game plan was getting knocked out cold, he succeeded. He more than succeeded. So, yeah, not much more to say on that. To talk about who they should fight next, I'm interested to see who they give Bryan, because, again, he's looked great outside of the Renat fight. Dudes look really good in the UFC. Coming back against Gilbert, Ubina, fucking having that underdog one-eye performance against Tresean Gore, and then 2 highlight reel knockouts within 40 seconds, or like fucking, I think maybe 60 seconds, maybe. So, I'm interested to see who they give him. Of course, I think he called out Ian Garry again. That fight ain't happening. So, who could they give him? I don't mind a Carlston Harris. I think that'd be a pretty good fight. Yeah, I like that Carlston Harris fight is very intriguing. Yeah, I like that. Carlston Harris, I think, would be a very interesting matchup for Bryan. A big, lengthy dude who's a wrestler, gonna really test Bryan's wrestling. I like it. I think that'd be a really intriguing fight. Yeah, I really like that fight for Bryan. It's a tough matchup, I won't lie there, but I think it's a winnable one. I really think it's very winnable, and I could see them doing it. Or if Bryan is Bryan, I easily see him stepping in to fight somebody. He could step in to fight someone if they back out, let's say Mike Morales or Max Griffin in their fight. Because, like I said, we know he is fucking insane. So, yeah. And to talk about Gabe Green, who can he fight next? You can feed him to a fucking Bond Fiend, not Ismail, I think Gabriel, or AJ Fletcher. You can feed him to something like that. Yeah, if you wanna maybe get Josh Quinlan back on track, Quinlan probably wins that fight. Yeah, any of those work. Or I don't really see you giving him a legit fight. Like, who are you gonna give him? Fucking Angelosa? He probably loses that. Kanan Song. Fucking Trevin Giles. No one wants to watch that shit. So, not much more to say. Overall, the highlight of the card, probably the thumbnail for this video, no less. And yeah, Bryan Battle is him. I like the idea of him versus Carlston Harris. And for Gabe Green, build up another young guy with him. Not much more to say. Great fight for 14 seconds, my bad. Next, after that, we go to the opposite of a great fight. Probably the low point of actually is the low point of the whole card. And my god, it might be the low point of the whole year, because this was embarrassing to watch. Mandy Bohm versus Yeon Kim. I'm guessing you've already heard about this by now. If you haven't, you're probably fucking lucky. This was embarrassing to watch. This should have not been on a UFC card. This should have been on Bellator, PFL, regional scene. it was embarrassing. The fight overall was a low level woman's fight. What are you gonna do about it? Like, it's what I expected. Either a brawl or a low level woman's fight, and we got the low level woman's fight. And my god, for the first 2 rounds it was whatever. First round, Kim with her first shot in 4 seconds, an overhand right, rocks Mandy, and then they just wrestle pretty much. And then in round 2, a coin flip round, pretty much. I think it was 1-1. But then is when everything hits the fan. At the end of round 2, bell rings and Kim kicks Bohm in the stomach off of her, and that got a point taken away. And then about a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the third, she's up against the cage with her hand down, and she Mandy Bohm with her hand down, and Kim knees her right in the side of the head. Mandy, knowing that she can get the Aljamain Sterling with this, she acts her ass off to get Kim DQ'd. That didn't work, even though Kim not getting DQ'd is so bad. But they go to a decision since it was deep enough in the round to be able to score it, and Mandy Bohm wins. I do think Mandy Bohm should have got her hand raised because Kim should have got DQ'd. I think this is fine. And yeah, but the bad thing, for about 5 minutes, they were trying to get the scorecards counted and ready to go, and they fucking couldn't. Like, that was embarrassing to watch. Like, if they were to like, let's say they still like showed full cards on TV or something, they would have to edit this fight out because that was embarrassing for both fighters. I don't know who gets more embarrassed in this, the actor or the dumbass. Tough question to answer. What else do you want me to say? Embarrassing. And who should they even fight next? I don't know. Both should be cut. If at least one of them ain't cut, that's bull. If at least one's cut Kim, then fine. If both get cut, I'm more than okay with it, because that was a fucking disgrace. But to talk about the fighters separately now, I guess I'll start with Mandy since she was the winner. Why the fuck did they sign her? She's a joke of a fighter. She is dog shit. And I'll tell you right now, whoever I say she should fight against, I'm picking the other person. Bohm is garbage. She is literally pathetic as a fighter. Like, she makes some bad fighters look good. Like, I don't even know what to say. She is terrible. She's a joke of a fighter. And then for Yeon Kim, she's still Yeon Kim. You know what you're getting with her. You're getting a fighter who is gonna strike, have good power, tall, and just not good. Like, this is some low level shit, and I don't fucking know, man. This was embarrassing on every level. To talk about who they should fight next. For Mandy, if she doesn't get cut somehow, who do you have her fight? You can give Juliana Miller a nice win. Well, you can give Juliana Miller a win. Maria Akapova needs a win. Antonia Shevchenko can always use a win. How she could always fight Molly McCann. JoJo Calderwood, I'll never pass up on seeing her get a win, because who doesn't love JoJo? Anybody loves her. Just feed her to someone. Don't give her a fight she could maybe win. Feed her to someone. Don't give her fucking Brogan Walker, who actually probably beats her. So, just feed Mandy to someone. And then for Kim, Cutter. She's already on a losing streak as is, even if you do think she won the Cachoeira fight, like I think she did. Still, in her last 5, she'd still be, what, 1-4, 1-6. Let's see, in her last giving her the Zcash to fight. She is still 1-4 in her last 5, and that sounds okay. But after that performance against Bohm, cut her. Like, if she keeps her job, I don't know what you gotta do to be cut these days. Because that was a pathetic display of MMA by both. I say cut both, but you know, I can't really. Go let him rematch in Bellator as a main event. Would be the best fight in Bellator fucking history, because it's fucking Bellator. So, yeah. Overall, terrible fight. Should have never fucking happened, in hindsight at least. And who should I fight next? Just feed Mandy to someone who needs a win. Akapova, Juliana Miller, Antonina Shevchenko. Any of those work. And for Kim, you can be looking for a new job. Let's move away from that disgrace to MMA. After that, we had into probably the best fight overall of the night. Probably my pick for fight of the night, and another fight with this time with just dumb controversy than the last one just being controversy. We have Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Cody Stamann. This was a really good fight. In round 1 it was very close. Very close striking. Round 2, same thing. I think Douglas did win the first 2 rounds. And I'll talk about something in round 1 in a second, because I already know people are asking about it. And then round 3, Douglas was gassed like everyone knew he would be, and he got clipped, almost finished in round 3, but Cody Stamann, and it went to decision. All 3 saw it for Douglas Silva de Andrade, as I agree, think it should have, and Douglas got the win. I'll start off by saying, in round 1, Cody did get a takedown. Douglas did kick up and kick him in the face. That is a foul. The ref checked on Cody, stopped the fight for a second, and then restarted. Yes, Cody should have ended up back on top, but do I really think I would have won him the fight like he says? No. I think that's a fucking excuse, and he knows it. He couldn't, in round 3, he couldn't hold down and finish a fucking tired, hurt Andrade. You think he was gonna fucking hold down a not tired, not hurt Andrade? Don't lie to yourself. So, yeah, overall, it was a good fight, man. These two, very much, for the first 2 rounds, just striked. Douglas was a better striker, like I told you he would be. In wrestling, yeah, Cody, when we did the wrestling, Cody did have the edge, but the edge we saw very little, so I don't know, I fucking, it was a good fight. I like them, probably my personal pick for 5 of the night, which says how many fights were actually, like, really good, but, yeah, man, good fight, and it showed, it pretty much confirmed everything I said in my breakdown. Cody's not that good. Yes, he thinks he can strike. Yes, he can wrestle. But overall, when he fights real fighters, he loses. That's why his best one is what? Bryan Caraway. Yeah. Overall, really good fight. And who should they fight next? A good win for Douglas, getting back on track after losing to Said Nurmagomedov. 37 years old and is not showing it, man. He is not fucking showing it at all. And now he's right back in the win column and using himself up for another big fight. Who could that big fight be? Let me think. Let me look. Bantamweight, you so many good options. I don't hate him versus maybe Adrian Yanez. I know Yanez is ranked, but he that work. Victor Henry would be good. He would be a really good test for Javid Basharat. Yeah, I like the Javid fight, and I like the Henry fight. Yanez might be a little bit too much of a jump for beating Cody Layman. So yeah, I like the, we'll say Javid, but there's probably better fights for Javid. So yeah, and then excuse me, fuck. And then for Cody Stamann, who cares? Feed him to a prospect. I don't fucking know who's unranked and needs a win. Well, actually, not really many people. Feed him to someone like, I don't know, Sergey Morozov, or Raw Rosas. That'd be funny. Yeah, I don't know, feed him to someone. Same thing as fucking, what's her face, Mandy, Bohm, and Gabe Green. Just feed him to someone. Come on, not rocket science. Overall, very good fight. Cody is trying to appeal his decision because he's a fucking sore loser and an idiot. And yeah, good showing by Douglas. And I like the idea of him versus Javid Basharat. And I like Cody Stamann to get fed to someone again. So overall, good fight, man. After that, maybe the last low point of the card. And that will be a fight I don't really want to talk about much, and I'm not going to. So we have Karl Williams versus Chase Sherman. This fight was fucking bad. They pretty much striked for 15 minutes, and it was underwhelmingly boring. And the sad thing, Chase Sherman probably should have won. At worst, 30-27 is just wrong. I scored it for Sherman watching it live, and so did a lot of people. He probably really did get robbed. So, just being honest, he probably got fucked over. And this is a terrible look for Karl Williams. This kind of reminded me of Jared Vandera versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Prospect meant to destroy their can opponent, and kind of has an awful performance. Has no idea how to block leg kicks, and kind of probably should have lost. So this is a really bad look for Karl Williams, and makes me very scared about picking him in his next fight. Because if you're looking like this versus Chase Sherman, I'm worried. Karl ain't bad, but if he can't get a takedown, you probably beat him. He really needs to work on his striking bad. And he needs to learn how to check a leg kick, or he's gonna fall into Waldo Cortez Acosta fucking tier. So I'm not calling him a flop prospect yet, but he's close. He's very close. And for Chase Sherman, it's Chase Sherman. Who gives a fuck? So yeah, who should Karl fight next? Fuck, I like the idea of him versus Waldo. The battle of two dudes who can't check a leg kick and probably lost versus a can. So yeah, I like that fight. I think it would be fun. And for Chase Sherman, can you please cut the motherfucker already? Please? My god. Overall, pretty terrible fight, and bad luck for Karl Williams, but I like the idea of him versus Waldo, and I actually probably pick him in that, to be honest. And then for Chase Sherman, cut him. Nothing more to say. And then for the featured prelim, legend, it became legend hour, and a legend put on another memorable moment for us. We have Matt Brown versus Court McGee. Matt Brown's a fucking legend, man. Like, I don't know who couldn't love Matt Brown. Dude just does not give a fuck. Dude, he roasted the judges in his post-fight interview. Like, that's badass. So, I don't know who doesn't love Matt Brown. He's a fucking G. And he looked great. He looked good. Besides not looking great in the wrestling department against Court, he looked good for the little that we saw of the striking. When he landed that big right that put Court down and made Court quit, man, Matt Brown still got it. He never lost it. Like, he's at 42 years old, he still got it. It's fucking insane how he still has it, and realistically, you could easily say he's on a 3-fight winning streak, and 2 of them being knockout, and I mean knockouts. Like, let that sink in. He's probably on a 2-fight winning streak, if we're being honest, or a 3-fight winning streak, if we're being honest, and that is kind of insane. 42 years old at welterweight and not even fighting bad fighters. Jailton sucks, but Bryan Barberena and Court McGee probably beating Barberena. That's not bad. And then if you look to his last fucking 2, 4, 8, dude, he's only lost 2. He's only, really, you could say he only lost 2 to get Miguel Baeza, yeah, that's not aging well, and Carlos Condit. Besides that, Jago, Ben Saunders, Jago Lima, Bryan Barberena, and Court McGee. That's not a bad resume of wins for being in his 40s. Like, he still got it at 42 years old, man. It's fucking insane how this man still has it. And for Court McGee, what does it say? It's Court McGee. He wins some, he loses some, and he's a G. He's not a legend, but he's a G. And he'll be back. To talk about who they should fight next. For Matt Brown, I don't want to give him a younger guy who will probably beat him, but at the same time it's kind of hard not to, because guy run, like, out of the guys left for him to fucking fight that are old, I think he already fought Tim Means. Yeah, he already beat Tim Means. Ponzinibbio? Actually, I like that a lot, actually. Like, Ponzinibbio, I don't hate that fight. How old is Ponzi? I think he's in his, like, late 30s. I think he's, like, 38, I wanna say. He is 36, and you know what, I don't hate that. Matt Brown and Santiago Ponzinibbio, I really like that, actually. I know a lot of people hear them praising Matt Brown gets knocked out. Does he? Honestly, if we get the Ponzinibbio we've seen lately, I'm picking Matt Brown. I'm being honest with you, I'm picking Matt Brown. So keep that in mind. I really like that fight. I think that's good for both guys. And then for Court, again, I don't want to feed him to anyone, but again, what old dude has he not fought? He probably fought Tim Means. He probably fought Bryan Barberena, and that fight doesn't make sense anyway. Where the fuck is Court ranked on this shit? Where is Court the Crush? What the fuck where they got Court ranked, man? On Tapology's welterweight rankings. Like, I don't want to feed him to anyone, but, like, again, unless he's not fought Tim Means, I guess Tim Means, but I guarantee you he's fought Tim Means. He hasn't? Then fuck yeah, Tim Means. Go do that fight, no more to say. So, overall, I like a great performance by Matt Brown. Always great to see a legend do his thing. And I like him versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. I think that's an amazing fight. For Court McGee, Tim Means. Old guys keep fighting each other. It's pretty much a tournament at this point. Barberena, Brown, McGee, and fucking Means Karl's kinda retired, and we lost a couple people like Diego, but still we got 4, and you know, I think Bryan is on 185 now, so either way, great performance by Matt Brown, fucking legend, Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. So those are the prelims. Outside of really, you had half and half good, half bad. Battle, Andrade, and Brown, really good. The other 3, really bad. So, yeah, good prelims, and time to add to a pretty decent main card. As we start off with a pretty underwhelming fight that I won't say much about, because right now I already got little to say. We have Alex Morono versus Tim Means. Not much to say about this fight. In round 1, it was close, but Means probably did squeak out the first round. And then round 2, it was again a close round. Halfway through, Morono threw a spinning back fist. Means shot for a takedown. Morono was able to lock in a guillotine and got the submission. Good submission by Alex Morono, very clean and good win. Good bounce back win after probably beating Ponzinibbio, for being honest. He probably did. And now he's in his last couple. I think he'd be on like a 4-fight winning streak at this point. Yeah, if he didn't fucking get knocked out by Pons, because he won that fight really, he'd be on a 6-fight winning streak. Cowboys, Awada, Gall, Semelsberger, Pons, and Means. Yeah, 2 of those suck. The other 4 are not terrible. And his last loss was Showtime, which, yeah, that's aging pretty bad, but what can you really do about it? Yeah, good for Alex Morono, man. Dude's not a great fighter, and he really doesn't talk. He's just he just goes in there and does his thing. He's an okay fighter. 1 second. Fuck. Sorry about that. And then for Tim Means, what do you want me to say about Tim Means? He's 39 and he is old. Nothing more to say. So, and to talk about who they should fight next, Morono did call up Bryan Barberena, but he literally got a fight booked today. So who else could he fight? And another guy I want to throw into the hat of old motherfuckers, Francisco Trinaldo. That would be there's some fun fights you can do with him, but that's off topic. Who could Alex Morono fight next? To be honest, I like the idea of him giving Renat being a good test for Renat Faraknikov. Fakradinov, my bad, Faraknikov, someone else. Yeah, I like that fight. Morono giving Renat a good test would be interesting, I think. So, let's see how Renat would look. And then for Tim Means, if he doesn't get cut, which I doubt he does because he is a G, he is on a 3-fight losing streak, but come on, he's losing to Kevin Holland, Max Griffin, and Alex Morono. He's not losing to bad fighters. So, who can he fight next? Like I said earlier, Court McGee. I like that fight a lot. Not much more to say. Overall, okay way to open the main card. I think this should have been the featured prelim, but, you know, UFC. And overall, I like Alex Morono versus Renat Fakradinov and Tim Means versus Court McGee. Both make sense. One's a good test, the other is a good G versus G fight. Good win for Morono. After that, we head to light heavyweight for the first of 2 fights on the main card, and this is a good one. This one ended how I wanted it to end. We have Carlos Ulberg versus Ihor Potieria. Thank you, Carlos Ulberg, for knocking out this dumb motherfucker. This is what you get for disrespecting Shogun like that. Do your dance somewhere else, not after fucking retiring Shogun, you prick. Long story short, the fight started, Ihor shot literally the second he could, and after that, Ulberg waited to hit his big shot, and when he did, Ihor fell. Carlos jumped on him and got the TKO. Great performance by Karl again. He beat, he did beat another can. Ihor is, I think, probably one of the worst fighters at light heavyweight. Was showing a lot, but still, I think it's time to. I think we've learned that he is good, Ulberg, and I think it's time to give him a real test. I think Negumarianu was a real test, but let's give him an even better one. I think he's really good, and he's showing good power, good striking. 3 first-round knockouts, whether or not to love there. Let's see him against a tougher opponent. And then for Ihor, he's trash. Who gives a fuck? Who could Carlos Ulberg fight next? It's probably a couple interesting matchups. Light heavy is such a weak and shallow division. There's probably a lot of guys that would make sense, but at the same time, probably can't do. So who could Ulberg fight? I don't. Let's see. Where is he ranked? Well, actually, no, they wouldn't do that fight. I was gonna say Jimmy Crute, but they're not gonna do Ozzy versus Ozzy. So, Dustin Jacoby, Dominic Reyes. Yeah, I like the Jacoby fight. Is Jacoby still ranked? Yeah, Jacoby. Yeah, not much more to say. I think that's a really good fight. Be a good test for Ulberg, and let's see how he does. I really like that fight for Ulberg. And then for Ihor, feed him to someone. I don't care who. Fucking someone. You can feed him to Devin Clark, Da Jung, someone. I don't know. I don't care. Next fight. Overall, good performance by Ulberg. Thank you for doing what you did. And yeah, I like Ulberg versus Dustin Jacoby, and who cares about Ihor Potieria. After that, we get to the big 3, and we start with a fight that made me look stupid. We have Yeon Machado Garry versus Daniel Rodriguez. Yep, well, I was wrong. Yeon Garry is legit. This dude is good. I'll say it, he's good. I was wrong. I was very wrong about Yeon Garry. He is good. Not much more. You got me to say it. He is good. He embarrassed D-Rod. He made D-Rod look like a joke. Like, he just took D-Rod to school, pretty much. Like, there's not much more to say. He didn't even do anything crazy to do it. He just kicked a lot, and he finally went upstairs with it, and D-Rod fell for it, got kicked in the face, hurt bad, went to the ground, knocked TKO. Great win for Yeon Garry, man. He's legit. Like, and he's now gonna be ranked. D-Rod was ranked 15th, and now Yeon Garry is. Gonna be really interesting to see what happens. How he does in the top 15. I'm very interested to see how he does in the top 15. It's gonna be very, very interesting. And for D-Rod, I don't know anymore. 36 years old and has had 3 bad performances in a row. I don't know what to do with him. Does he retire? You're not gonna cut him yet, but does he retire? Who do you give him? What do you give him? I don't know. He can't move up or down. I don't know what you do with him. Now, I'll talk about who you should fight next and something, but I just don't know with D-Rod anymore. That Leech fight really must. I don't know. I don't get it. Like that. I don't get it. I really don't know what to say. I'm confused. So, yeah. Fuck, stop yawning. Not much more to say there. To talk about who they should fight next, this is where we start to get to the bigger fights in this category. And we'll start off with Ian Garry. He did make a call out that made a lot of sense in Neil Magny, but Magny's already booked versus Phil Rowe, so that's not gonna happen. Who else is there from the fight? Unbooked at the moment. Michael Chiesa, but I doubt that happens. Joff Neal, but they're not gonna do that. So I say for Ian, just let him sit back and see what happens. Let's see what happens with Wonderboy Piera, Jack Della and Brady, Luke A and RDA, Magny and Rowe, and go from there. So let Ian Garry. I would say let's see what happens. And now for D-Rod, when the fucking rankings would like to show up and I could actually look at everyone. How many fights am I gonna fucking matchmake at fucking welterweight tonight? Jesus. For D-Rod, who does he fight? Huh. I don't know. Do you give him Matt Brown? Do you let Matt Brown beat him? Kevin Holland? Matthew Semmelsberger? Fucking Chaos? Jeremiah Wells? Gunnar Nelson? I don't know. I don't know what you do with him at this point, and I'm very interested to see what they do with him because I don't know. I really fucking don't at this point. Dude went from a guy who I thought was very promising at the Division 2, probably on a 3-fight losing streak, to guys 2 he probably should have beat, and 1 dude he should have at least looked like he tried against. So, yeah, overall, Ian Garry's legit, man. Nothing more to say. And who should he fight next? Let's see what happens for D-Rod. I don't know. I really don't. So, yeah. To move on to the co-main event of the evening. Not gonna say much here because not much to say. We have Johnny Walker versus Anthony Smith. Walker looked fantastic. Johnny looked amazing. He had a flawless fight almost. For 15 minutes he did whatever he wanted and won. Great leg kicks. Great everything. He just looked great, man. And I'm very happy for Johnny that he is finally looking like a guy who can be that hyped up prospect a lot of us were high on. He's looking great again. Like, and he's not like he's beating cans in 30 seconds anymore. He has in his last 3 showed off a 15-minute gas tank, fucking submission game, flexibility, striking, power, everything. He's looked great, and I'm happy for him. Like, let's be honest. After the fucking let's be honest, after Jamal Hill fight, I get everyone on earth was done with him. Then out of nowhere, he comes back against Ian Cutelaba as an underdog and wins. Then knocks out Paul Craig, and then destroys Anthony Smith. He's back, man. Dude, he went on I think it should have been a 5-fight losing streak, and then comes back to win 3 in a row and gonna fight a top 5 opponent now. It's like, what the fuck happened? Like, and it's not like he took a long break. He fought in fucking February 19th, 2022. Comes back fucking for 279 in fucking September, and he's a new guy. He's reborn. What the fuck did Jamal Hill do to him? My God, he woke up something in Johnny by putting him to sleep. I don't know. I'm happy for Johnny, man. I hope he goes far. If he won the belt, I'd be so happy for him. I doubt he will. You never know. And for Anthony Smith, it's Anthony Smith. He's gonna win some, lose more. and he's never gonna win anything. He's just a gatekeeper, and at this point, is he even a good one? I don't think so. So now, who does Johnny Walker fight? So he's gonna be ranked 5 now, because he just beat number 5. And you have an open book. You either have Magomed, Yeon, or Ratchik. I don't think you should do Magomed. I think it's Yeon or Ratchik. I would say out of those, I like both. I could see going either way. I like Yeon more as a name value fight. I think it's very fun. But as maybe what would make more sense, I think would be Ratchik. Either way, I think either is great, of course, and I can't wait to see either. Any other fight for Johnny would make no sense. I don't know who else you would have him even fight. He already lost to Nikita Krylov, and anyone else ranked under him makes no sense. Like Uzmir, Craig, Spann, no. So it's Ratchik or Yeon. And actually, if you ask what do you do with Krylov, you give Krylov who you don't give Walker, and vice versa. Whoever you give Krylov, you give the other to Walker. And I say you do Krylov, I guess Ratchik, and then Yeon Walker. And if you're asking what do you do with Magomed, Alex Pieda. Boom. Overall, I'm happy for Johnny, man. He looks great, and I'm so interested to see him versus Yeon or Ratchik or even Magomed. Oh, and who should Anthony? I forgot to say who Anthony Smith should fight. He's probably gonna be out for a little bit of time. He didn't really get hurt bad. He just got his leg fucked up. I don't hate feeding him to Azamat Murzakanov. Dominic Reyes, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I like either those, Azamat or Dominic Reyes, pretty much. He's already fought Uzmir, he's already fought Spann. He already fought Crew. I don't see him fight Craig's moving down. But yeah, Azamat or Dominic Reyes. I think either makes sense. So, overall, I'm happy for Johnny, and I can't wait to see him versus Yeon or Ratchik. And for Anthony, Azamat Murzakanov makes a lot of sense, or Dominic Reyes. I would say Azamat makes more sense though. So yeah. And now for the main event of the evening. I got very little to say on this fight because it was like nothing happened. It was literally fight starts, takedown, the end. And of course I'm talking about Jailton Almeida versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Could this fight been any more predictable? Dude, literally what everyone on Earth said and agreed on happened. If Jairzinho does not hit that big punch, Jailton's gonna win. And Jairzinho did not hit that big punch, and Jailton won. It's like, my god. Jailton Almeida's a fucking problem. Who is gonna beat this man? Like, he's just gonna keep doing this shit. Fuck, you won't need to see his striking, because he won't be able to stop his goddamn takedown. He didn't even throw his front kick, I don't believe. He just shot the takedown. So, this dude's a fucking problem, and I can't wait to see him get a step up in competition. I can't wait. I'm very excited. Yeah, I got nothing more to say about the fight for Jairzinho. We know what we're getting with Jairzinho at this point. He's just like Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. If he doesn't hit you and knock you out, you're gonna beat him. So, yeah. To talk about who Jailton should fight, he did call out Tai Tuivasa, but I please don't. You know what? You know what match would make a lot of sense and might not be that terrible of a fight? Jailton Almeida and Curtis Blades. The battle of the wrestlers. I know a lot of people are saying, what? But think about it. Who would you say are the two best wrestlers in the division? Jailton Almeida and Curtis Blades. Yeah, you could say Sergey Spivak, but let's be honest, are you really gonna put him over the other two? Probably not. Blades and Jailton. You're telling me you're not interested? And if you don't want to do that, you do him versus Volkov. So either way, you get a good fight. But I think Blades makes sense. I don't see why not, man. I really don't see why not. And then for the only guy. Oh, actually, to book heavyweight right now, I say Jailton versus Blades, Volkov versus Spivak, and Ty versus Jairzinho. If you tell me those don't make sense, I think they make sense. Fuck it, let's do it. So overall, and I just booked Jairzinho. So fuck it. Overall, one as predictable as possible, and Jailton should fight Curtis Blades. I know a lot of people are probably saying, what? But again, think about it first, and then question what I'm saying. Okay? So, that was a card, 11 fights, and it was good. About 3 duds pretty much happened on the prelims, and it was not a bad card. Picks-wise, I went 9 of 11. Ooh, 3 perfects, and 550 points. The bonuses, we only had 4 performance bonuses, go to Jailton, Ian Garry, Karl, Ulberg, and Matt Brown. I would have gave out performance bonuses to only Garry and Brown, maybe Ulberg and Jailton. I don't know. If I wanted to give out more than, I could if Cody Stamann didn't bitch and moan about the decision, that could have won fight of the night. And I know you question, how did Bryan not get a bonus if you forgot he did miss weight on Friday? So, if he did miss weight, oh my god, he would have got a bonus, but missed weight. So, overall, that was a card. Not a bad card at all. Unlike the card we have next week, or this week at this point, Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill. Wow. I don't give a fuck about that main event or card. There's very little I care about looking over that card, and what I do care about is very little. So, yeah. Hopefully the card is one of those that performs better than it looks, but that main event's gonna be shitty regardless. So, why did you do it, UFC? But whatever. Overall, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, sub, 100 subs go by the end of the year. You'll hear from me again Friday 1 p.m. EST for a breakdown, Sunday 1 p.m. EST for a recap, I swear, maybe. And as always, RX out. Bryan battle is him.